Of breast cancer. A lot of people think because they don't have it in their family, they're not at risk for breast cancer. The general population, not knowing about any woman, average risk of breast cancer is 12.5%. And when I say that to patients are like, well, that's not a big deal. But you know what I say? What if I told you that your plane that you're about to board had a 12.5% chance of crashing? Would you board that plane?
No.
Exactly.
Maybe, depending.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not going to lie, maybe. I don't know.
No. Maybe if I'm going to Paris.
I'm saying I'm going somewhere really awesome, and it's like, when will I ever get to do this again? I might. I just pray.
No, I would never. I would personally. I think 12.5%, if you look at it that way, is a big number. So average risk of population is 12.5, which is significant, right? Then you add height to it, it can go up. As your breast gets denser, it goes up.
What, did you find a lump first before you sent me?
No, I calculated your lifetime risk of breast cancer.
That was after.
Right.
I think you may have found it.
You had a fibroadenoma, which is a benign, breast mass that a lot of young girls have. But because of her family history, and do you want to share your family history or no?
Oh, my mom dealt with breast cancer, and my aunt also had a mastectomy, and etc.
Did they survive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's great. My mom's been clear for 7 years.
You see her, she's healthy, she eats healthy, she lives a great life, but yet family history matters, right? So someone like her, and a lot of people, almost every single person has some family member with some sort of cancer. It could be
my
prostate.
grandma also has cancer.
Had
cancer
colon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like,
My grandfather had colon cancer too.
I mean, every family, if you take a history, a lot of people have family history of cancer. So we have genetic tests for that. You have to make sure there's not an underlying gene mutation in your DNA that can increase your lifetime risk for certain cancers. It could be breast, it could be pancreas, it could be colon, it could be uterus, it could be ovary. So I checked her, she's negative, but you still can't assume everyone. These tests are available. It's a full panel genetic testing. But when you do that, in addition to that, you have to calculate someone's lifetime risk. Just because you don't carry a gene mutation doesn't mean you're not going to get breast cancer, right? Or that your lifetime risk is not high. I didn't have a gene mutation. I had no family history of breast cancer, but my lifetime risk was 37%. So it's important to know what that number is.
When we did the lifetime risk, we may have did it twice.
So I can explain it. Okay. I know what you're going to ask. So when she first presented to my office, I didn't know the density of her breast. And I just knew her height, weight, family history. And she was not, at that time, she had not been tested with genetic testing. So when I calculated her lifetime risk and did a genetic test, her gene mutation was completely negative, but her lifetime risk, because of her family members, was really high. Do you want me to share that number or no?
Sure.
Her first lifetime risk calculation was 53%.
How did you feel when you heard that?
I didn't understand, so it didn't really bother me now. No disrespect.
You see what I deal with?
Well,
and I can't see
this is the point. This is actually really the point. So that 50%. So then what happens? You have somebody that has 50% lifetime risk.
53% based on height, weight, whether or not they've had children, when they got their period, who in their family has breast cancer, multiple factors, right? So you can't sit here and say, I don't have it in my family, I won't get it. You have to plug in all the factors and figure out that number. So obviously, she wasn't scared. I was terrified with 53%. So what happens is when your lifetime risk is more than 20%, you need to start breast imaging at age 30.
Not
right?
40, which is
Not
normally.
40, which is exactly. She would walk into another doctor's office. They would say, oh, your mom had breast cancer. You usually go 10 years prior, right? If you don't calculate lifetime risk. It's 10 years prior your first relative's age of diagnosis or 40. Right? But someone like her would get missed because she's younger. She's not even close to 40, but her lifetime risk is high. So
I feel like I'm technically closer to 40 than I am.
Oh my God, don't listen to her.
I
20.
am closer to 60 than I am 40, which is a really sad thing. I'm 52.
Oh, you look fantastic.
I'm 53. I'm older than you.
Well, both of y'all look fantastic. All right, fine. I'll be close to 40.
So because her genetic test was negative, and because I found out the density of her breast, the second time I could calculate it, she dropped from 53% to about 27% because in the formula.
Great. I was like, oh my God, I'm having a nervous breakdown over here.
I'm
That's so good.
screaming me staying the exact same because again, I don't know. They put a metal ball in the
Yeah, I had one
thing.
too when they took a
Yeah, they
lump. So
also
make
took
sure
a
that it's
piece
there,
of it. Yeah, they take a little biopsy of it. Then they put the ball in there. And then what's crazy is when I got my boobs done, my doctor took out some of my fibrosis. But he was like, there was so much fibrosis. It was crazy. And he took it out. And so when I went back, a lot of the concerns were gone. But by accident, he had no idea. It was so weird. I mean, I had like seen somebody spiritual about it, about specifically the breast cancer situation and the marker before I had the results of the biopsy and all that. I had talked to somebody because I was like, I got to figure out what's going on in the higher realms and whether it's to be done about it or whatever. But yeah, so then by the time the results came back and by the time I was supposed to see you before I got my breast surgery, but I didn't. And I like snuck kind of and got it anyways. I was not supposed to. With my risk of breast cancer and then with the actual, like I have markers in my breast, like metal markers in my breast for all these fibrosis, for these lumps or whatever. I'm not supposed to be getting breast implants.
Well, your boobs look great.
No, I got them. Long story. So anyway.
They look amazing.
I took them out.
Well.
I took them out. So basically, I put them in. They ended up hurting me. I got way too much scar tissue because my breasts are too dense and I'm not supposed to have breast implants. And I ended up getting extra fibrosis, like with tissue, whatever. And I didn't feel good and it was painful. So I took them out and now they're just my boobs.
They
But,
look
So
good.
good.
but saying that to say thank you. But saying that to say, like God is good and all the weird stuff that was in there, I haven't checked in maybe like 2.5 years. So I need to go back. I just scheduled it.
Good.
Thanks to Dr. A's office, I just scheduled it. But I will say, I mean, I haven't even felt my boobs in so long. But they feel pretty nice, like normal to me. I don't feel any lumps